Um, yeah. So Andre says, how do you define the value of a backlink if you could buy a guest post, niche edit, etc.? I've actually got an article on this. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and I'll drop this link in the description for you. Or you could just go to our site and the article is called What is a Quality Backlink? Here we go. Yeah, so as far as the what we're looking at to judge the quality of the backlink, the three main things we're looking at are relevance, authority, and power. Just a quick way that we define that relevance. I think you probably know what relevance is, but basically is the website or the article itself related to whatever it's linking to. And relevance doesn't always have to be exact, like laser focused. Like if your article is about pit bull toys, the article that you're linking from doesn't have to be about pit bull toys or pit bulls or even dogs. It could be about pets,
Right.
Um, so as long as something that makes sense. But if you can really laser focus in that relevance, if you can get something that's hyper relevant, we'd consider that better, right? Um, and then you have authority, which we kind of can, we were just talking about before, the kind of the power and the trust, which is a little bit more of an obscure concept of the domain overall. And then we consider the power, which is the essentially the backlink profile of just that URL that the link is coming from. Um, and yeah, in the article we kind of talk about, you don't necessarily need high amounts of all three of these things. You can kind of think about them like on a sliding scale, right? So if the link has low relevance, if it's like pretty like general relevance, you'd want it to have more authority or more power. If it's low on authority, you'd want like more relevance and more power and so on like that. Um, yeah. So traffic and rankings are another one that people talk about a lot. And we kind of group this into it's good, but it's not everything. But again, if you can have if the link and the domain, if the URL and the domain itself have traffic and rankings, of course, that's better. Um, but yeah, I mean, as far as like actually putting like a value on a backlink, it's pretty hard to do. But I think one of the ways that you can kind of do it is to look at what they're being sold, by providers, right? So like in general, providers usually sell links by authority. It's probably the most commonly used.
Yeah.
Um, some people sell them by like traffic or whatever, and relevance is kind of like a given, right? They kind of if someone is like selling you links and they're not relevant,
Traffic, I would say, is like an authority factor, right? Like a trust and authority
yeah,
factor.
I would kind of lump traffic in as kind of a more like abstract concept of like
Mm-hmm.
authority and trust rather than just like the referring domain count of the entire domain.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I would just look at this article if you want to get some ideas of like what makes a link a good link. Um,
And then let's
anything.
remember too that, the main point, and I think we talk about in this article, is that you want to diversify your link profile. So let's say you get some links that aren't of the greatest quality, so long as you're offsetting that with additional high quality links. Diversity is the key to making all that kind of stay under the radar and give you longevity with your asset.
Oh yeah, some other things you definitely want to look at, is it a contextual link? Which means it's like actually in like a paragraph of information rather than some like on a sidebar or like a footer or something. Of course, you want it to be indexed. Um, there was something else I wanted to look at here. Um, and of course, you do follow is going to be more valuable than no follow. Not that no follow links aren't good and helpful. We definitely think they are, but do follow would be more valuable. It would be worth more to you, right? Um, And if you wanted to really look into things a little bit deeper, you could actually pull up like the linking domain in a tool like Ahrefs and actually look at the backlink profile of the domain, and actually like look at like the health of the domain, right? Does it need to be, the most highly ranking domain with a traffic and keyword graph that's going straight up? No. But if its backlink profile is like complete trash and has a ton of spam and real seedy stuff in there, I would definitely, take the value down.
Mm-hmm. And I guess also if you look at some of the links, let's say you're buying them from a provider, and you go to a guest post that you bought, and on that guest post is also 10 other links, including links to Viagra pages and stuff like that. That would also be a low quality factor.
Yeah, outbound links.
Yeah, outbound links. So some on page there as well.
For sure. So hopefully that answered that for you, Andre. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description below for links to our blog for more info on this topic, along with a bunch of other cool stuff like case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. Thanks and happy ranking.